Sports coverage of the NFL has us in downtown New Orleans at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. The setting in this dome just serves to amplify the excitement of the folks in New Orleans as their Saints burst from the tunnel a moment ago. They're set, and we're set as well as the Saints get ready to do battle with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. A limited running room as he'll get about 3 to the 21.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Shotgun now for Breeze. Smith catches left side. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They run the option here on 1st and 10. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. And with a play clock at 3, we'll get a signal and a timeout on the whistle. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. Floating one, incomplete. The Pro Bowler Michael Thomas was the intended receiver, and it's third down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Snap comes at 1, and now Breeze. And he fires one that's intercepted. Antoine Winfield Jr. picks it. That's kind of a double whammy. I mean, the interception on the opening drive, that's one thing, but to give him this field position, that's another.
Absolutely perfect start for this defense. They take the ball away on the opening possession. They know that their offense will get the ball to start the second half. They line them up in field goal position, and to me, they got a chance for a touchdown right here out of the gate.
Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, it's almost football 101 that you preach to your safeties. Don't let anyone get behind you. You're the last line of defense. But he didn't let the play come to him. He went to the play. How about that read and recognition and finishing off that one behind the line of scrimmage?
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. To throw is Brady. Open man is Howard, the tight end. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through. Well, all offseason, probably a lot of thought goes into that first drive of week 1. They didn't get the touchdown, but at least they got something.
And what I like about it is that they didn't overthink it, because you're exactly right. A lot goes into the offseason, the preseason, to get to that first drive of the regular season. They went right downfield, mission accomplished, points on the board.
And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 11 yards there, first down.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Now Breeze on the bootleg. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. To throw is Breeze. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good first down call as the screen play gets him 9.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And he gets it down to the 32. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. This is complete to Michael Thomas. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Here's Breeze to throw. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans.
He's ridiculous.
10 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Saints have taken the lead. Bouncing back nicely from that bad opening drive where he threw the interception. Drive number 2 leads him right down the field and into the end zone.
So obviously his confidence was never lost, and that's a good thing to see. Great quality to have, and you absolutely must maintain that as a quarterback. But I have to think that they're probably still on the script that they prepared for this game. Just the second drive. They've worked on these plays all week in practice. Put them to good use on that one.
A fairly short kick from the 14. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They finished off their opening drive of the campaign with a field goal on the last drive. Now they'll search for a touchdown here on this go-around. 1st and 10. Jones running on first down, but finding it pretty tough going as he'll get forward for only about 3 there before he's taken down. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Brady. He finds his tight end Howard. That's complete. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
The LSU man Leonard Fournette, born right here in New Orleans. And he is going to have a Bucs first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Brady to throw. He's got a first down and then some in midfield. And he's going to get this into enemy territory at the 45. 15 yards as Tampa Bay picks up the first.
Mike Evans has been so good downfield. I think that sometimes we end up taking him for granted. When you look back at what he's done each year in the league, he's been a 1,000-yard receiver each and every time. Now paired with the prolific Tom Brady, those numbers could really jump.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he's got this down to the 35. 10 more there and another first down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Snap comes at 1, and it's Brady. Keeps himself upright, pushing through the contact. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Cameron Jordan in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. So Brady and the Bucs need to work a little magic. 3rd and long after that last sack. Shotgun now for Brady. Airing this one out for Evans. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down. So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. The All-Pro Deontay Harris deep for New Orleans. Harris to return. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing now is Breeze. And brought in by the tight end Cook. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And we do talk a lot about how the tight end position has changed in the NFL. Here's a great example. It used to be that they were linemen who occasionally caught passes. Now they're wide receivers who occasionally block people. And right here, this isn't tight end speed. It's definitely wide receiver speed.
Play action. Breeze. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Kamara's got the first down and then some. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara, 54 yards. And the Saints add on to their lead. Alvin Kamara, Charles, a guy from your alma mater there in Knoxville, and he has developed into a perennial Pro Bowler on the strength of big plays like we just saw there. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game.
Trying to go to work.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Fielded in the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Here's Brady. Looking for Gronkowski, and he's got him complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. On 1st and 10, here's Brady. Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. A new life now following the late turnover. Maybe a chance for points here before the break.
Yeah, pretty nice situation they find themselves in because they're really maybe one completion away from getting...
And this is going to be intercepted. Antoine Winfield Jr. picks it, and he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe.
So first thing that crossed my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely, and from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. He sets up the screen to Jones. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Brady. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Brady. That's caught by Howard. And he is going to have a Bucs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Brady again. That's complete to his running back, Evans. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Succop will put this one right through. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So, yes, they'll still be down going into intermission, but the deficit is now made even smaller, very manageable.
Yeah, and if nothing haywire happens here in his last couple of precious seconds, they will go into the locker room with a nice bounce in their step, having gotten a little bit closer on the scoreboard.
So, barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. 2nd and 5 now. Brady. And now a fumble. Brady loses the football.
You know
and this is picked up by the Saints. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return and a Saint touchdown. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring them indeed with that score alone. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-6. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Taken in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Brady to Evans on the slant. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Good catch there by Mike Evans, and his ability to get downfield and create big plays is something that Tom Brady hasn't had on the perimeter in the last few seasons. Mike Evans often fools defenders with his speed because he's so long, people think he can't be that fast, but he is, and combines it with terrific hands and makes big catches.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. From the gun, Brady, and he's got an open man. It's Gronkowski. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. But the Brady-Gronk connection, certainly something to watch here with the Bucs in 2020. Of Tom Brady's 541 touchdown passes coming into 2020, Gronk's 78 were the most of any receiver. On first down, Jones. Tackle there by Alex Anzalone.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. Brady. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 2nd and 11 now. Breeze gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Every time Michael Thomas makes a catch, I can't help but marvel about the 2019 season. 149 catches, but how about the receiving yardage? 1,725 yards. I don't care what the game plan was on defense, Michael Thomas found a way to beat it.
Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
I'll bet they thought they had picked that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call. And they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 2nd and 10, 3rd quarter of the season opener. To throw again. Brady. And now a fumble. Brady loses the football. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the 2nd half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there. Their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Throwing now is Brady. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. Fancy footwork at the 45. And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Snap comes at 1, and now Breeze. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And he gets it down to the 32. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
But you can cover Michael Thomas however you want to. Guys in the short zone, deep zone, mid zones, 2, 3, 4 defenders. He finds a way to get open. 149 catches in 2019, a new NFL record for receiving. Any route you want him to run, he can do it, and he finds his way open.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Breeze, he's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
Well, so much for getting separation. No chance there. Locked down tight, forcing the incompletion on that attempt.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
Alvin Kamara hit the NFL with a bang, had double-digit touchdowns in his first 2 seasons. Now, production fell off a little bit last year. Just 6 times did he find the end zone. But his ability to run it and catch it out of the backfield makes him hard to cover. Look for a bounce-back season in 2020.
Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints. They'll be looking to expand their lead here. They've got the football as we start the 4th. Breeze now on first down. And that going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything. And against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Here we go. 53.
Shotgun now for Breeze. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Emmanuel Sanders there to make the grab. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want, but there carries a little extra pressure with that as well. As you and I both know, protecting home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, 2 sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Every time you come this way, I'm going to give it to you.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here. And Brady going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. Yes, folks, that is his third interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around a defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
So after the INT, it's Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. They'll run it with Kamara. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, if this defense has any hopes of getting back into this game, they've got to start right here and keep these guys out of the end zone. That's a good step 1 on that play.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Kamara trying again. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Alvin Kamara, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Saints take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash in for 6. And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Brady and the Bucs now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Brady gives this one off to Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there, 1st down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. This is Jones. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
From the 45 on second down, Brady. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Marshawn Lattimore right there on the coverage. He was draped all over it.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
The Bucs on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Brady. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Hey, check it.
Brady to throw for it on 4th down. He's got Evans. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. He stopped to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Jones, and he's taken down inside the 30. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will. Probably wishing that they could have had a few runs like that earlier in the game, now facing this deficit in the 4th.
Hard to criticize a run of that magnitude, but they really need those types of runs to go the distance and need bigger plays to try and get back into this one.
Brady's throw complete there to Evans. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Mike Evans, 29 yards. And the Bucs are able to cut into that deficit. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving. And he bangs it home. It makes it now 35-13 our score.
There you go. Got him again. Got him again.
Now it's Ryan Suckup on after the touchdown to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And this is really the start to the season that you're hoping for if you're a coach or a player. They've got the big lead here in the 4th quarter, and now can really take some time off the clock. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Time to ground it out now with Murray. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
He'll have a 1st down past the 40. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a 1st down. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Brady now on 1st down. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His 2nd catch in a row, 1st down. Well, we know he has pretty good hands on display there. In fact, he only needed 1 of them.
Yeah, nowadays, all these receivers work on this, right? They do the one-handed catches off the machine in practice. They do it with their...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They begin the drive with a run by Murray. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It was Jason Pierre-Paul who was able to get him down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They go with Murray again. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Saints, that'll be a happy locker room as they start the season 1-0. And they will hit the road next week. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.